Hey there everyone, it's Kathy and you're back here in my craft room and on my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. As many of you know, I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I'm located here in North Carolina. If you're not currently working with a demonstrator, I would love the opportunity to earn your business. If you like what you see here, please subscribe to my channel. That helps me grow. And if you ring that little bell right beside the subscribe word, it will come up with how you want to receive. And if you choose all, then every time that I go live or put up a recorded video, you will be notified so that you don't miss out on anything. Okay, with all of that out of the way, you know, they always say that necessity is the mother of invention, correct? Well, all of us are so saddened by the fact that our our Stamparatus is no longer available due to Misty's lawsuit. So I did some investigating and I found out that we can make our own stamping platform with just a few supplies. Stampin' Up! Sells these stamp cases. They're clear. You could put a piece of paper in here if you wanted it to be, you know, clear. You could actually take a piece of grid paper like this and slide it in. Let's see if I can get that to go in. That would be perfect for your cling stamps. What we're going to do is make a Stamparatus out of this case, and it's not hard to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece of cardstock. This has a smudge on it, and I have been trying to figure out how I was going to use it because y'all know me, I don't like to throw away anything, and I thought this would be perfect for this demo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half at 4 1/4 on the 8 1/2 inch side. And then I'm going to put these two pieces together, and all I'm doing is forming card mats. So, you know, of course we need to cut these down, but we're going to cut this at 5 1/2. And this will give us 4 card fronts, or mats, I might say. So let's just say that this is our Stamparatus. If you want to be able to secure this in, you could get some positional tape. And you could put it in with that. This is one that I got from, I think, Tuesday morning some time ago. It works really good, but you would just take and put a piece on the back of your card, your piece, and then sit it down so it doesn't move. Now that's not going to go anywhere. It's on there. So let's get a cling stamp first, because I'm going to show you with a cling stamp how this works, and then we will come back with photopolymer and I'll show you how that works. So let me grab, I'm just going to grab a word stamp. Let's do with deepest sympathy. I think I will be making sympathy card before too much longer. My first husband's sister, one of his sisters, he had 8, or he has 8. And one of them is in the hospital. She had a stroke, and she's been on a ventilator, and I think they're going to have to take her off the ventilator today and either hope for the best or allow God to just take her home. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to bring this over and just press it. That picks up your stamp just like you would in your stamp positioning tool. I'm going to go ahead and ink this up with some Memento. And you're going to ink just like you would if you were using a regular stamping platform. Then just close it over and give it a press. And then open it back up. And there you have a beautifully stamped, and if that didn't come out good, you could very easily come back in. This is what makes the stamping platform so good. Now this one is not as complex as the Stamparatus, but this is very much like what we got sued for. This is basically what the Misty does. It just opens up and you can and look how beautiful that is when you re-ink it. It didn't move, and when you get ready to pull this up, you can very easily take that out, and you've already got this adhesive on the back. I would just leave it, and you can put your regular adhesive over that, and this works beautifully. So let's lay this over to the side, and let's get a photopolymer, and I'm going to show you what I did to make the photopolymer work. I'm going to get a little bit of stamp cleaner. Get our trusty Stampin' Mist, because we're going to need to clean this. I think I'm just going to do it on the cloth. That will keep me from making a mess inside my new stamping platform. And this paper that I slid down in here, this is nothing more than a piece of Stampin' Up! Grid paper. And if you can't, I use the small one, but the small one has been discontinued because it was made to go with the Stamparatus. But if you can still get the large, and you can cut a piece of it down to make it fit. I'm going to cut another piece down because I want to show you what I have in mind for my next piece. Let's put this back up so I don't lose my grip on where that belonged. And let's grab a photopolymer, and come on. Okay, Bella, move out of my way. Alright, this one right here is a returning stamp, and we're going to do the two-step stamping with this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this full stamp, and let's lay this back in. First we need to put our platform in. What I did is I had a mouse pad, and I trimmed it down. This is what I trimmed off of it. This is an old mouse pad that I don't use anymore. I have some fun foam. If you had fun foam, you could build up 2 to 3 pieces of fun foam, and it will work the same way. I'm going to throw those excess pieces away. I don't need them. But this was, like I said, it was an old piece, and it wasn't something that I felt that I would use again. So I'm going to position this right here. Now remember, we still have that tape on the back, and I want to put my flower like that. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that up and make sure everything's back in that corner. And I'm going to take I think I'm going to start off with a light color, so we're going to use Bubble Bath. This is one of our new core colors. I need to put some chapstick. If you get your inks and they're hard to push in and out, if you will open them up all the way and run a little line of chapstick on this track and then push it back and forth so it lubricates that opening. I'll show you that while we're here. I just took one that I didn't really care for, and it doesn't take a lot, so you want to be gentle when you do this, but just take and rub a tiny bit on each side. Oops, that's probably plenty. Just make sure it comes all the way to the end, and once you do that, then you want to just kind of work it back and forth like that, and then your ink pad will be smooth every time, and it's a wonderful way to oh, I'm cleaning that, and I hadn't even stamped it yet. Alright, let's re-ink. You see how easy it slides now? Alright, let's ink that up again. And this is where you need that mat for the photopolymer. So I'm just going to press in on that, just like that, and then I'm going to clean it, take it off, and we're going to close up this ink pad, and I'm going to come back in with, let's grab Melon Mambo. That's a nice hot pink. And let's pull out the next piece, which would be this, and that's your little detail. So we're going to pull it out and decide exactly where this needs to go. And I think it would be about like that. So this is the good thing about having a stamp positioner. You can always position your two-step stamps so much easier. Let me go the other way and see if that would work. Nope, it's got to go right here. Alright, I'm going to pick that up, and then we're going to ink this. and then bring it over and stamp it. It looks like I didn't get quite enough ink on the ink pad itself. Let me put this chapstick up. I got a new glass matte board here that I'm working on. I just got it, and this is like my first video that I've done, so I hope that this is not causing any eye problems, because I know it does do somewhat of a reflection, but it's so nice to have a glass mat to work on because they clean so much better than the plastic ones, and it gives you a nice sturdy surface to work off of. So that I do love. So now I'm going to take this little teeny dot and I'm going to put it in right about there. Let's clean this stamp off like so. Then we can put this one back in our case, and position our little dot. Oh, come on, right about there. And again, we can pick that up. We can ink this in yellow, so I'm going to grab, I think I'm going to do Daffodil Delight. That's such a pretty yellow, and I think it'll be pretty with this. It doesn't take but just a tiny bit of ink because it's such a tiny little stamp. And then just press it in, and now you got the center of your flower. How pretty is that? And we did all of this with our homemade embossing, not embossing, but stamping platform. I think this is a great idea, and I'm so glad that I looked for something like this, because, you know, I got to thinking, a lot of us couldn't afford those Stamparatus. I mean, I got it because I sell Stampin' Up, and I get a decent discount. So, and it's important for me to have all the tools and things to show. But if you, let me show you how this would work if we put a mat over it. And I'm going to actually use some adhesive, and I'm gonna use I've got plenty of these. I actually ordered 2 packs of these when I saw that they were discontinued. So I'm gonna just pull out another one. But if you don't have this and you have grid paper, you could use grid paper. And all you want to do is figure out. And what I did is I laid it on top, and I came over, and I think I figured out that it needs to go to that line right there. So I'm going to hold my finger on that line, and then I'm going to lay it into my trimmer. I know it's that line right there, so I'm going to line that up in my trimmer nice and straight and just slice it. Now this is going to give me a beautiful grid line paper to go in here. Now if you know what, I'm going to cut that off just a tiny bit more because it's not quite. Let's go to that next line. It's not quite fitting in there like I want it to, so we can cut it down a little bit. Alright. Now Sizzix, this is not a Stampin' Up product. They do sell adhesive backing, but it's permanent, and this is not. This is, oh, what did I do with it? This is actually sticky grid sheets, and they already have a grid on them. And you could definitely take one of these and put it down on your mat. I've got more than one. No. See, there it is, right there. Like that. And that would work beautifully on top of your mat. So let's measure our mat, because I would love to stick a piece down on here. And I was thinking this was plain. I forgot that this had grids on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out from here, why don't we turn it like this? And we're going to put this all the way up in this corner. Just like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take on the back of this, I'm going to take my pen, and yes, I'm using a pen. And all I did was made a mark down and across. That will give me where I need to cut. So now I'm going to bring my trimmer back over. And I'm going to slice right there. Save that piece because you could probably use that for something else. And then I'm going to slice right there. Looks like I might need to take just that little bit more off, but let's check it first. Yeah, I think I am going to have to take just a hair more off of this. So let's go right there and slice that. I think that'll make it perfect. And remember what I said, if you don't have an old mouse pad, you can definitely get some fun foam. I'm sorry, I lost my whole train of thought. The fun foam will work too. You might have to stick 2 or 3 sheets of it together to get the thickness that you want, but it will definitely work. Now I'm going to pull this backer off of both sides. See if I can get it apart right here. There we go. Okay, I'm going to lay it down this way. So I'm going to lay that from the edge to the edge, and I'm going to stick that down, and then I'm going to work it up. And it seemed like it wants to go crooked on me, so just pull it up. That's the good thing about this being repositional. You can make it work for you. So let's get it down right there, and then give it a good press. I'm going to show you one other trick you can do that will also make this a wonderful tool for you. And like I said, it's an inexpensive way. I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm going to use my Teflon coated scissors, and I'm going to trim this off right here. Just like that. We'll throw that little piece away. And now we have a sticky grid mat. Now not only does this work with your grid, but this will last for a good long time where you can put a card base in. So let's grab the other card base. But before we do that, I'm going to show you something else you can do. This piece of grid paper that I cut, you can very easily use it on the inside of your case by putting it in here, just like I did back here. And what that does, it gives you a grid to line your sentiments up on. So that way, not only do you have grid paper here, you've got grid paper here as well. So there is my take on making your own Stamparatus, and you could also put a decorative cover in and make it look really pretty for your desk. But isn't this a neat way to make your own Stamparatus, your own stamping platform, I should say. This is not a Stamparatus by any means, because y'all know how I feel about my Stamparatus. It is without a doubt the very best stamping platform, and if you were able to get one, count yourself very fortunate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how this grid works now. You can bring this in and put this down on a certain line and press it. Now that's not going to move on you, so you can do whatever you need to do. So we're going to use some more photopolymer, and I'm going to stamp. I'm going to stamp a sewing machine. This comes from the Crafting with You. It's a brand new bundle in our new annual catalog, and I love it. So I'm just going to pick that up, and you don't have to close it every time. You can just pick it up, and just make sure you press everything back in once you do that. just to make sure. And you could adhere this in as well, but if you're working with cling stamps, you'd have to take it out and it would be a little bit. You could make two if you wanted to. You could get two of these cases. I think they come 4 to a pack, and they're in the Stampin' Up catalog, and I will link them below this video, so if you want to pick one up. I'll see if I can link where you can get this the Sizzix sticky grid sheets. I think I ordered mine. I can't remember where I ordered it, but I did order it because I had a project that I was needing it for. So anyway, we're going to put that sewing machine right there. So let's get a pretty ink, and I think I want my sewing machine to be Moody Mauve. Love this color. It's like a dusty rose. It really reminds me of the colors from the 80s. And you know, this ink pad's so super juicy. Look how juicy that is. That's okay. All right, and then I'm going to bring this over and I'm just going to mash it down. And there we have our sewing machine. Is that not the most ingenious thing? And then we can put a sentiment up here that says, life is better. Life is better when you're crafting. Isn't that the truth? So I'm going to go ahead and pick this up, and oh, it had ink already on it, but that's okay. We have our our homemade stamp positioning tool. So let's see, does that look right? We're going to go with it. Memento Tuxedo Black. Bring it over and just give it a good press. And there is a card front. Is that not? And when you get ready to peel this off, all you got to do is grab it by the corner and lift it off like that. Now you want to make sure this sticks back down, so just press it, give it a good press. And this will last you for quite a few card bases. And I didn't use the thick cardstock. In fact, this is just some very basic cardstock. It's not even Stampin' Up, which I use that sometimes when I'm just practicing. I save my good stuff for when I'm making actual cards online, or I'm making a card for someone. But anyway, I hope that this has proved to be a useful tool for you, and I hope it's something that you will try. I am in love with this. If I didn't have a Stamparatus, this would make me so very happy. So I hope it helped you, and this is just another installment, and I didn't know I needed to know that. So God bless and keep you, and as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is worthy. So until we craft again, be safe, be kind, and know that you are loved. Bye-bye.